Hi, I'm Brooke Tyler. I own Classique Acupuncture and Pilates Studio in Asheville, North Carolina. We're in our beautiful new studio space where we're able to have great, huge classes of Chisel. So Chisel is a Pilates mat class. I came up with this model for Chisel about 7 years ago when I opened Classique. It takes many of the apparatus exercises, a lot of them we do on the one-to chair, and puts it on the floor. And it just requires floor space. We use our mats, but it also slippery, open, hardwood floor and socks so we can move around. So this video is a little bit of Chisel form information for you. So when we do our Chisel classes, they're an hour long. We got music, we're going for it. Many people have been doing them multiple times a week with me for years. But it's accessible to all levels, all abilities. Clients, men, women, young, I have kids doing Chisel, older clients doing Chisel, working on their balance. It's accessible to everybody, and there are a lot of modifications. So I'm going to take this chance in a video to give you some form cues. So when you come to class, or if you do more Chisel videos, you can apply what you're learning and get more out of it. Also make it safe, make it effective for you, and make the work come from the right places. So that's often what gets in our way as athletes, right? We want to keep improving, getting faster, making better times, being more efficient, even just feeling better in our bodies. So if we're working from the right places, which is what Pilates teaches us, your powerhouse, then all that's going to happen instead of working in our big grippy muscles. So let's just start. I'm going to kind of give you a little preview of how we begin Chisel. We're always warming up the body. Bottom to top is how I like to. That's a little, I'm an acupuncturist also, and that's how it goes in Qigong. You're definitely going to warm up. Let's warm up from the feet. So go up on your toes. In Qigong, you warm up bottom to top in many ways. So we're going to work our joints. So we like to do these little heel lifts. Stretch the feet out, work the ankles, reach the arms. Then you're starting to turn on your balance. Ask your body to sort of pay attention, come to the room. Now hold it up there. Now let's work the knees. So you bend, press. And in classical Pilates, we really like to have the heels pressing to the center line. Makes you work your bottom, your inner thighs, press. Now hold, now put them together. Keep your knees here. Heels go down, heels go up. So what you want to pay attention to with your body, even let's go parallel here, is that you're getting in good form with your feet. So when you raise the heels, you're not doing any kind of funny sickling, right? Then press the heels down. Do that again. Lift your heels. Have even weight, big toe, little toe. Make sure you're not spinning in or out. And then use, it's nice, we do this in class with a mirror. If you have a chance to have a mirror at home, try that. But bend the knees, get low. Now roll the heels up. And even just look down, right? If that's all you have, you're just checking yourself out on your kitchen floor, fine. But check your alignment. Make sure you're not crashing in your arches or spinning out. That's important. And down. Okay, stand up tall. Let's circle the hips a little bit. We want to warm you up. Go the other way. It's always a good chance to check in. How do you feel? Was one side tighter than the other? You feel warm, you feel stiff, so you have to listen to that. Now let's go to the side. Lengthen. Think mostly up as you go over. You don't want to get too crunchy, right? We don't really like that crunchy word in Pilates. Get long. One more. Breathe. Exhale. Up. Over. And up. Okay, go heels together. Roll your shoulders a little bit. So you kind of feel how I worked up the body through these joints. We can even do some little twists. Go up and back. Opening your chest. As you spin, open your chest. One more each side. Exhale. Up. Okay, now do kind of like a standing roll up. Roll up like we do on the mat. Go chin to chest and start to peel your spine forward like you're rounding off a wall. Let your arms hang. Round towards the floor. And roll your way back up to the top. Again, try to keep your hips still and forward so you're not hanging back in your knees. Okay, that's something really important I try to bring up in all the classes we teach. You don't want to be locking your knees backwards. Round forward. In fact, I feel like I have a little more weight on my toes, like I might tip over. And that's going to make me engage my powerhouse right in the middle. Then stay down here and walk your knees out. Still trying not to hyperextend, but you're just getting to wake up the backs of your legs. And roll up to the top. shoulders down and back. Okay, so in Chisel class, we'll start to add your arm weight series, a lot of standing balance work. So let's talk about the standing balance work for a minute. Stand on your left leg, right leg back, hips square. So what that means in Pilates, we talk about your frame, shoulders, hips. Think of this like a rectangle. Work that alignment. My hips are facing straight forward, and my standing leg is not hyperextending backwards. Okay? So hips face forward. Now just do a few small leg lifts back here. It doesn't have to be much. So I'm doing some of the simple moves that we do in Chisel, so you have some good form. You can hear me in your head, right, helping you with your form. At the same time, you see how I'm doing this? I'm making sure I'm not popping, right, or pushing out every time I lift my leg. Then my low back is going to talk to me, and that's not Pilates. So I'm still pulling in my core, even though I'm lifting that leg. And let's switch sides. I'll tell you what ends up on fire is this right here. So I keep everything in, hips face forward, making sure my right knee's not popping backwards. You can tell the difference, right? Watch that. If I'm on this leg, I can hyperextend it and then I'm hanging in my joints. It's kind of scary. So everything in, now little lifts. And I'm making sure not to push out the front, everything in here. This long leg. And I'm working right where the hamstring and my glutes, they all kind of attach right here. I'm working here. That's going to make me really strong in everything I'm doing, right? Even walking around. But definitely if I'm running. Hold. Think of this leg. You have to pay attention to it. If you're a knee locker, you have to always keep that in your mind, that you're not pushing your knee backwards. Okay, stand up tall. And you'll feel that in the backs of your legs. Okay, so we also do plenty of squats in Chisel. Let's talk about how we line up for that. You're going to go hip width. Now, your hips are not out here. So right from the center of those hips straight down, kind of think like train tracks, parallel. Bend your knees and come into it. You want to feel like your hips are behind you a little bit, your stomach is in, and my heels are grounded. I feel like a lot of times in class, somebody has one heel or both that want to float up. You want to work that length in the back of your thighs. So heels down, bend your knees, sit down there and hold. Make sure the heels are rooted and your spine is nice and long. So I'm working to make sure I'm not too rounded under. That's going to make your back get sore. And I'm not too flipped out because that's going to mean my ribs are leaving and my core is not working. So think of a nice long spine, nice long angle there and hold. And you want to find already that the backs of your legs are working also. It's not just a quad exercise. So hold that, reach the arms. And then we're always working to understand that your arms, they're not part of your neck, there's no shrugging, they're part of your back. So work here in your sides. Try that, just hold, get a little lower. Keeping your heels down. Press it up a little. Again, go down, hold. And sometimes it takes that. If you don't have a mirror in front of you like we do in class, look down. Am I lined up? Am I pulling in, but not tucking under? Okay, so you have a nice long waist. Reach. And up. One more. Hold there. Everything in. And stand up. Okay, that should give you an idea for your squats, how you line up your feet. Let's come back to the front. A lot of Chisel we do standing on one leg. Reach your right leg back, reach your arms forward, lean into it and hold. I'm going to show you from the side so you can watch the knee. This is really important here. You're finding length. I'm going forward, backwards, holding. This knee is soft, right? So I'm not popped back, hanging in my ligaments. I have a little bend in my knee, so all the small muscles around my ankles, my knee, my hip, everything is working. Now just bend a little. Press it up without popping it backwards. Bend a little. And up. Find something to stare at, keeping yourself steady. And up. Try the other side. Leg back, reach. Again, soften that knee is what I'll say. It doesn't have to be totally bent, but it's not gripped or pushing backwards. It does feel a little bit like you're lifting, right? Lifting up out of the floor. Reach, bend, press it up. Also keep in mind, 2 more. When you bend this knee, you're working to track it straight forward. Watch out for your little speed wobbles, right? You can learn a lot about a discrepancy between your legs and your strength. Track it straight forward. Super common that one leg will feel like it's waving or it's falling, but learn, you know, we tend to have a tendency, whether we're knock-kneed or bow-legged. Press up. Okay, stand tall. That should feel good. That gives you good information of how we stand on one leg. Let's go back to our squats. So when we go up and down with tempo, you understand that your energy, you're lifting from your center, you're not popping your legs back here also. So often we're going to go up and down with a rhythm. So if I'm going down, coming up, what I'll see sometimes is people wanting to come up and pop the knees back and thrust the hips forward. Now my joints are risky. My ligaments are taking too much strain and I'm not staying in my muscles. I want to feel like I'm lifting through the center and not doing a leg press. So going down and up, you want to feel tall. So I'm going to avoid that moment where my knees go back and my hips go forward, right? Not so much here, because then I'm losing my middle. Arms can swing free, and my heels still stay rooted. It's really easy for the heels to float. And hold it low, stay there. What we'll do sometimes in class, again, where you can learn about your discrepancy of strength, try balancing one leg. See what happens. And go back the other way. Hold. See if you can keep them steady. And that is strengthening your entire foot through all these spine muscles around your knee, into your hip, your waist, your whole powerhouse. And come up tall. Let's do a little stretch. That's why athletes like Chisel so much. But we have all kinds. We have a lot of yogis who do Chisel. I have teenagers who do Chisel. Anybody. So, because you work this balance, you're going to feel like you're young, you have energy, you're capable, you're not at risk. Okay, so that gives you a good sense for a lot of our standing work. So let's go to the floor, because we like to plank and Chisel. And you have to figure out how to make plank get out of your neck, get out of your wrists, watching the hyperextended in your elbows. So let's talk about that. When you come into a plank, I want you to first think big hands. Like if you've ever done yoga and they really have you spread your fingers. Spread all those fingers down there on the floor and come into your plank and hold. Just like you did standing, I want your heels together, squeezing your center line, rather than me kind of being back there and sickling my feet in funny ways. You have to learn to pay attention to your feet because they do things on their own, and it's not always to your benefit. So squeeze your heels to the center, and then suddenly my inner thighs and my bottom are also working to help me instead of weigh me down. So use that bottom. So once I'm here, I'm thinking big hands and soft elbows. In Pilates, we like to hug the center line. So I'm going to make sure my arms are wrapping more in, not so much flaring out. So if I can pull my arms towards my center line, I'm going to engage my powerhouse. So Pilates, my powerhouse, here to here, right? I want to use my lats, my upper abs. So when you take this into your practice, your planks will feel like it's upper ab work. It's not a shoulder workout. It's not a trap workout. So, but you have to be intentional. Otherwise, it sneaks back up there. So big hands, elbows soft, and you kind of hug the center with them. And exaggerate it for a little bit of how you bend. If you know you can pop them, right? I can pop them, but I don't. So soft elbows, I squeeze the center, then I come into my plank. And I'm forward over my wrists. You can see from the side, I'm not planking back here. That's going to be very neck stressful. Okay? So here I am, and I'm lifting, rather than having any kind of falling, sinking feeling. Feel that everything is sinking. So I'm pushing the floor away from me. However, as I push up, I'm also softening and squeezing my arms towards the center. It's a lot of work. And suddenly, I can tell you, I feel the whole thing right here, right in those upper abs. Low abs, because I'm squeezing my legs together, nice and long, because people love to plank like this, right? Lift the back of your head, nice and long. Your neck is part of the rest of your spine. So if I'm doing a plank or a push-up here, that's not integrity in my spine. I got to stay long. Okay, stand up. So, where do you feel? Here. Okay, so in Chisel, when we do a lot of planks, with a lot of plank variations, because we like a slippery floor, you have to keep coming back to those things. And we all have certain things that are our things. Maybe you're an elbow locker. Maybe you're not very good at keeping your hands flat, right? And so you have some wrist pain. You have to know what your things are, or I'll tell you, and then you work on them in your workout. And when we add a lot of variations, if we add too many variations where you lose your form, then step back. I'm trusting you for your own workout, whether you're at home right now or with me in class. So, when we do our planks and Chisel, we like to slide. Come back down here. Now that you have your great form, hold it there, nice and long, and bring your right knee in on the floor towards your chest. Here, you want to create a curve in your spine. I kind of push the floor away, but I don't stick my bottom up. Keep your spine rounded. This is just like mountain climber on the Wunda chair, if you've ever worked on the Wunda chair, which is Pilates apparatus. So I keep this curve, and then I go back. Try the other side, bring it in. Notice as I do that, I'm not shifting in my upper body, which gets army and necky. I'm staying in the same place. Switch. Slide it in, use the floor. The other thing I really emphasize in class is that this back leg is strong and straight. And back, switch. And here, I'm working hard to lift off this thigh, not sit down on it. See where my back knee buckles? Lift that back leg, which lets me lift these toes without anything changing. And back, then try that. In, nothing changes. And now I'm basically doing my stomach series in a plank, right? Knee into chest. I'm doing all those things with my arms. Back leg is long. One more. Okay, now I'm going to bring them both in. We do double slides. That same kind of action. I curve my spine and stand up. And again, it's all right here. So let's practice that sliding. It's that same mechanics. Keep your upper body really still. Okay. Hold it. I'm going to stay long like this, and I'm going to work one leg. I'm going to slide the right in and out. My aim is to see really not much else moves. Left one. And I'm moving that leg from my core, not my hip. So my hip and my quad are not working. Now I go both. And you stay really still. Okay? And it takes practice not to let your hips bounce and fall. But ultimately, if you do it that way really still, I'm conserving my energy and it's coming from the right places. As opposed to, so this is the don't do it version, where people often come in and there's sort of a bouncing and a sinking, right? And then I'm just stressing myself out, really. It feels stressful. Because I'm not working in the deep, powerful places where it's most efficient. So let's do Michael Jackson, which is what we call it. It's kind of sliding in and out and making sure that back leg gets long. Hips underneath me, rather than here, right? That's not hips under. And now my low abs are not working. Hips under. And then I could do anything. I could go wide with that knee. I could go across the center. That's crisscross, right? You do your Pilates mat routine, this is crisscross. Cross the inside. That's all. I can take them both wide. It's all about that base though, right? I'm pushing the floor away. And there has to be a little bit where my hips are curving under. Curving under. And stand up. So, play with that. And in Chisel class, we'll add millions of variations because it's fun. And you just have to choose which ones work for you. So same when you do the videos at home. But that gives you a sense of how your planks really come from your core, not from, you're not building big arms or big shoulders or painful wrists or tension. It's all happening from your center. And that's the principle of Pilates. If you're using your powerhouse, you're creating length, strength at the same time, then you've got a flexible spine, and then you're young forever. That's what Joe Pilates said. Well, I didn't hear it from him, but that's what I know to be true. And to feel it in my own practice, the more Pilates I do, the stronger I am in life, the stronger I am in any other physical workouts I want to do, the mental toughness, right? The stamina, the sense of self, it all comes full circle to help you feel strong and connected to your deep center. So there are some Chisel principles for you. Now try some more videos, or we'll see you at the studio. Okay, thanks.